I practiced it this week, but it's not ready. Need another week with it.
Are we talking about Yismachu v'Malchut Tacham?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce told me that story. Shabbat Shalom.
What was the phrase that night that we used? What is it? Kenahora, that's it. No more knocking on wood. Our thing. Cosa nostra. Melogio? Malojo. Ah. Ein Hora. I know you're superstitious when you gotta say evil eye in 4 languages.
Right. It's okay to be able to say it, but can you drive it away?
Right.
You know, you have to
Yes.
have the right skill set.
With the display in front of the house, I'm hoping.
Right. No, that it helps. It helps. Paint your doors blue.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with the fig?
no.
Oh, well, there's a couple of things you can do. There's one that unfortunately in some cultures is an insult. This is one form.
Okay.
But the Talmudic version is this one. You
Okay.
grab each thumb, you put your palms face to each other, and you shake it and drive off the evil eye with that. You like that one? It's a good one. And of course, there's always the
Yeah,
right,
two.
right. Yeah. So
My grandpa did the two.
with the proper arsenal of defense against the dark arts, you're in good shape.
Okay. I feel armed.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't want to.
Okay.
Just a little.
Yeah, so I can.
I figured you were.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Greetings to you here, you out there, every Sabbath observer around the world who might be joining us. We're delighted to be able to come together and worship here at Congregation Kol Ami in the Zion of North America, Denton County, Texas. So we're going to start off with the Nigun, a wordless melody to just change our frame of mind, start us in a different mood for the Sabbath.
Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 lai
We begin our Shabbat, as we begin every Shabbat, with the kindling of Sabbath lights. I'm going to invite you to turn to page 1, and it's my privilege to invite up Joanne Barnes to kindle the lights of Shabbat for us. Thank you.
In the beginning, when the Spirit of God hovered over the darkness, God's first creation was light. As we kindle these Shabbat lights, we attest to the majesty of God's work and rejoice in its beauty. Light is a symbol of divinity and creative being. It is the outward sign of that inner spark which God has granted to us. In hope and with love, we now welcome Shabbat with us. Praise God, you are non whose presence fills the world, who hallowed us with mitzvah and inspired us in the Shabbat lights.
May Shabbat bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin our Kabbalat Shabbat service actually on page 4 with Psalm 97. Or Tzaruach Latzadik v'Yishrei Lev Simcha. Adonai reigns, let the land exalt and the many islands rejoice. Dense clouds surround God, and righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne. God's lightning illumines the world, and light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you who are righteous, rejoice in Adonai and acclaim God's holy name. We turn now to Psalm 99. We sing Ramemu.
Romemu Adonai, Romemu, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu lehakodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Together in English, it is you who established equity, you who works righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt Adonai, our God, and bow down towards God's footstool. God is holy. Exalt Adonai, our God, and bow down towards God's holy mountain. For Adonai, our God, is holy. Psalm 29. Ascribe to Adonai, you children of God. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name, and worship Adonai in the beauty of holiness. May Adonai give strength to this people. May Adonai bless this people with peace. We continue now to the concluding part of Kabbalat Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 7. For those of you who are visitors, it's our custom to rise on the final verse and to turn towards the door to welcome the Sabbath. And I'm going to designate Bruce and Stephen to be our doorway holders to welcome the Sabbath in.
לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד הוא שמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור ברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תהילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלך נגלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצור חולה. תוך אמונם סגולה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated, everyone. Psalm 92. Mizmor shir l'yom hashabbat tov lahodot l'Adonai ulzamir l'shimcha elyon. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with voice, and lyre in unison. Sadik katamar yifra ke'erez v'Lebanon yizgeh. And the righteous, they shall bloom like a palm. They shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. We go now to Hatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש שמך בה,
Amen.
בעלמא דברך יראתי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בקלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יחי שמרה במבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירם בעלמא ויאמרו
rise in body or you may rise in spirit, but please rise for the Baruch.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We turn now to the prayer Ma'ariv Aravim, which assures us of the natural constancy of God's creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim b'chokma pateach sha'arim uvituna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakokavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirotzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, umavir yom uvevi layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. May God govern us always to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes evening fall. Ahavat Olam. Unending too is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah, mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated, and please join us, if you're comfortable, with the Via Hafta on the next page.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet ve'emunah. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'en zulato ve'nachnu Yisrael amo. True and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai our God, you redeemed us from Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. And for this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you. Living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud, raises the lowly, who frees the captive and redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, the source of blessing. Like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing. Micha mocha.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. מי כמוך ואלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא.
This is my God, they proclaimed. Adonai shall reign forever and ever. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim ufrosa leinu sukat shlomecha. Grant this night that we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up tomorrow, O sovereign, to a life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague, keep us from famine and anguish, subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We turn now to the next part of our service, the Amidah, or the standing prayer, starting on page 17. Please rise.
Adonai, sefatai tifta, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, Vezocher Hasdei Avot ve'Imaot, Umevi Geulah mipnei bneihem, Leman Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah rak le'Hoshia, Mechalkel chayim ve'chesed, Mechayei hakol ve'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Ichamlocha ba'al gevurot, Umigdol melach,
Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim v'chol yom yechalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. You want to do the Shamru, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to honor the Sabbath on page 21 by the singing of Vishamru on the top of the page. We'll get there. We'll get there.
You'll get there, please.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובנים בני ישראל, בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Great say. Adonai, our God, show favor to your people Israel and lovingly receive our prayers. May the worship of your people always be acceptable to you. For you alone do we hold in reverence. Mudim. And we give thanks to you, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for all generations. And so we thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha l'cha ne'eh lahodot. We're going to close out this part of our prayer service with Shalom Rav, asking God for a multitude of peace in our lives. And following that, we're going to take a few moments for our own silent prayers and meditations.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol leil ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, v'yimeru, amen. Ose shalom bimroma, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru v'yimeru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Well, as sad as it is to have to say this, I think I can safely say that the COVID epidemic is not completely over. And I think that's quite obvious by the fact that people still maintain so many grudges, right? I mean, it's only this week that two rather significant figures in our country, a potential presidential candidate and he was once the most wealthy man in the world, but he's not anymore, have both called for the prosecution of Dr. Anthony Fauci for his role in fighting the COVID pandemic. And if the grudges are still there, then I think the pandemic is not over yet. So that just brings me to my personal grudge. And it goes like this. You see, back in October of 2020, I got my first Moderna shot. I got it earlier than most of you because I volunteered for this human guinea pig thing, but I got it in October. And on the occasion of that, I posted that on my Facebook page, and I got some pushback. I got some people, particularly, and I thought this was so strange, people of faith who were telling me things like masks are signs of the Antichrist, and that these injections are all intended to cripple us and destroy us. And I had more than one person assure me that I would be dead in 2 years because I took this vaccine. Well, it's 2 years and 2 months. Ha, 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 nanny, nanny, boo-boo. Even if I die tonight, I will die with the satisfaction of knowing someone else was wrong, right? I'm a little less sanguine about Robin, who in the last few days suffered a seemingly invisible but debilitating change. She suffered a stroke. And as I did with COVID, we turned immediately to medicine for relief of what afflicted her. Though I have to admit, it's left its after effect. It's left an after effect on her, for her feeling fragile because of how it's still affecting her body. And it's left me a little fragile because it directly attacked my sense of security in the world. And so it's been very difficult. But I still believe in what I would term, it's a term that's not newly coined, it's Torah Umada. That is, you can translate either as Torah and secular education, or you can translate as Torah and science. I believe they go together. And this is an important concept because I don't think that is true for everyone. For a lot of people, they seem to think that you either put your faith in science or you put your faith in God. And to put your faith in science, because scientists are human and they are fallible, is clearly a mistake. God is perfect, and in God's perfection, if we are faithful to God, God will protect us, and we don't need any of this social distancing or masks or injections or anything like that. It's a very strange culture of alternative facts, but it's often embedded in a matrix of faith. It's the truth that a good part of the resistance to vaccines came from churches and communities of faith who insisted that not only were they not going to respect the limitations placed on us by a pandemic, but that somehow what was going on was in effect the Antichrist. It was a plot against humanity. Now, look, in Jewish tradition, it comes down decidedly on the side of Torah Mudah. It comes down on the side of science. One of the primary values in Jewish tradition of normative thought, or rules for living, of derech eretz, the way to go about in the world, is pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh means the preservation of life, and it overrides almost every other religious mitzvah. It can be interpreted as religious duty or obligation. It follows that the practice of medicine, the activity by which we commonly preserve life in our culture, is itself a mitzvah. Indeed, it's more than that. It's an act of faith, as it were. In the face of disease, we are to avail ourselves of the best possible human care we can get, which entails that we heed the counsel of medical experts trained in diagnosis, evaluation, and treatment of diseases. And thus we read in Mishnah Yoma 8:5, one of my favorite passages in the entire Mishnah, if a person is ill on Yom Kippur, they are fed according to the instruction of experts. Or as I like to put it, if a pregnant woman comes to the rabbi on Yom Kippur and she says, I must have a pork chop or I will die, you give her the pork chop on the advice of experts, but other sages say, no, who's a better expert than she is? So just give her the damn pork chop. All right. So this idea that we can only ignore advice when we have a good reason to believe that the action must be taken to save life and health. In other words, that ignoring the experts is the only way for a better outcome. Even if the expert has not reached that conclusion, however, we Jews are never entitled to ignore the expert's positive prescription for a treatment. But these medical moments in my family illustrate something more important. And that is, as much as COVID raised this idea that faith and science were at odds with each other, I think what's happened to Robin has illustrated once again to me that faith and science do not have to be at odds with one another. Rather, they work in concert. While some think that following Rabbi Fauci's advice is a kind of blasphemy, trust God, not men, what happened with Robin's illness illustrates how science and faith actually go hand in hand. Because not only did the experts, the doctors in the hospital, provide what she needed in her first 48 hours, you, our community of faith, rallied to us and provided what she's needed ever since, and what I needed. You, our community, not only have given us gifts of food, of flowers, and offer of material experience, but your overwhelming show of care, thoughts and prayers, if you like, has been an incredible salve on our anxiety and our fragility. Hundreds of messages, hundreds of expressions of caring and concern. After each subsequent wave of calls and texts and emails subside, I turn to Rob and I say, I think you're loved. And I find the calls help me too. It helps me feel less vulnerable because I know you're there. Now, scientists are not umpires. They are not and cannot be the final arbiters of decisions that we as individuals have to make about how we live our lives during a time of illness. As one observer, echoing George Clemenceau, aptly observed once, war is just too important to be left to generals, and sickness is just too important just to be left to the doctors. Still, it is the deniers, those who disparage medicine, who refuse to wear masks in public places, ignore medical counsel, who I would say misunderstand and indeed misuse faith. They are wrong, not because scientists are always right, but because science, as we know it, is founded upon a human desire to do right and to do what is best for every person. And that is the very principle of Jewish thought. What can we do to best preserve the lives of the people around us? And because it is devoted to the service of humanity, it ultimately produces answers in which we can have confidence, or to put it another way, in which we can have faith. It seems that Dr. Martin Luther King was right. He said, we must learn that to expect God to do everything while we do nothing is not faith, it's superstition. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel also said, why are graven images forbidden by the Torah? Why is the Torah so concerned with idolatry? It's precisely because God has an image that idols are forbidden. You are the image of God, but only the medium in which you can shape that image is that of your entire life. To take anything less than a full, living, breathing human being and try and shape God's image out of it, that diminishes the divinity and is considered idolatry. Do not make yourselves an idol. Strive to care for other people, and that raises you up in the image of God. You can't make God's image, you can only be God's image. He was, of course, speaking about all of us, not some of us. In that light, unless we believe that God wants us to suffer, we cannot suggest that it is right to do nothing about the suffering of others or our own vulnerability. Those words resonate with great force and urgency because among those of us who have doubts about the counsel of human being, who tell us either to overlook the prior successes of medical treatment or to ignore the consensus of medical opinion in favor of spiritual passivity, are often the holders of positions of power, influencers, or even holders of high political office. Rather, the faithful thing to do is this. If you are sick, consult your physician, wash your hands frequently, drink plenty of water, and above all, do not take medical advice from politicians or people who post on the internet. And if someone you know is sick, be there for them as you want God to be there for you. And this community has done for me and my family. This does not mean we should idolize our doctors or that we believe that scientists are always right. It simply means that medicine, as imperfect as its practitioners may be, as imperfect as its development may be, to do it is a true act of faith, something more than mere superstition, and that combined with our own continuing presence in the lives of others is the way that we are meant to fulfill the mitzvah of Pekuach Nefesh. Torah Umidah brought together, faithful acts of science and faith together. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So our officer tonight is our beloved president, Steve. Come on up, Steve. You got it.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome one and all on this nice crisp evening here in December. For once, it's actually acting like winter or kind of winterish. So enjoy it while you can, because it'll be 80 before too long. So with that, a little bit of pontification, let's get on to the announcements for tonight. Just to let everyone know, our office we have a closing here in the month of December from the 15th through the December 22nd. We actually unchained Bob from his desk and gave him some time away. So, we are still going to continue to have normal services on Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. And Rabbi will be available via email or his cell phone for emergencies. Menorah-thon. It's that time of year where we get to light up the whole room with menorahs from wall to wall. So that is coming up on Friday, December 23rd at 7:30. This is a magical time for everyone. The light created from all the menorahs burning is very mystical and fabulous at the same time. And it doesn't set off the smoke alarm. So we're really glad about that. So please join us on the 23rd for a menorah-thon. Tikkun Olam sock and underwear drive is still going on. Each night, over 600,000 people live on the streets in the United States. As the weather turns colder, let's bring the gift of warmth from our community to those in need. From November 18th through December 30th, we'll be taking donations of socks and underwear for adults of all sizes and genders. There is a donation box out in the lobby here. If you have any questions, please contact the Vice President of Tikkun Olam, Melissa Trapani. We are also once again glad to help make everybody aware there is a Frisco Rough Riders and also a Dallas Stars event that we've been invited to be part of. You can check on the website for more information in regards to that. We are also doing a t-shirt design contest as a kind of a unique fundraiser. We're asking our youngest congregation members to design a t-shirt for CKA using the theme of what does CKA mean to you? There will be 3 winners chosen based on age groups, and each winner will receive a free t-shirt with their design on it. The winning designs will then be made available for purchase by our members and their families and friends. Is a great way to show CKA pride and help us raise funds to support our shul. All designs are due by January 8th. The winner will be chosen that day. If you have any questions, please reach out to Melissa. She just keeps busy.
Is there something you want to share with the entire congregation?
So we do still have a discount that's being offered in the Git Shop, 20% off. Don't forget to drop by and check out the sale going on in the Git Shop through December 18th, which is this coming weekend. Everything is 20% off. The prices are competitive with Amazon, and your purchase help to support our sisterhood. Pop in and see Betty and find a great gift for Hanukkah. As is customary at Congregation Kol Ami, we like to reach out and offer a Shabbat and those of need of healing. Go around the room and see if we have anybody to add to our list.
Robin
of course.
Dix and Marilyn Holt.
Thank you. Yeah.
Offers and family in Herrera, Algiers, Gretna, and
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Rosie Cavazos.
Thank you. May those in need of healing and those that we also have on our list to be added for today include Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Karen Brown, Sandy Cook, Audie Cundiff, Mark Davis, Nancy Enneman, Harry Enneman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Kalig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Laura Koenig, Alex Koenig, Richard Karayan, Gianna LaMonica, Deb Lynn, Mark Levin, Phyllis Lorelei, Paxton Lucht, Wynn Marks, the Mile family, Paul Redwood Jr., Frank Ria, Helena Rubo, Bruce Sari, Adrian Sandler, Dale Seaver, Happy Waterman, Howard Watt, Karen Weinstein, Barry Weinstein, Carly Wisniewski, and Tom Wolf. If you could join us on page 40 in your prayer book or on the back of the announcement for the Misha Barak.
Mishe Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habraha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Now, the regulars among us might have noticed an omission, which is that I didn't take time at the beginning of the service to ask for people to share the good and blessings in their lives. Now, I could claim that that was a strategic decision to do it after I had given my sermon. But the truth of the matter is it just shows I'm a little off my game that I forgot to bring it up. But it is, I think it would be good to hear right now all the good and blessing you have, the things of why we are feeling grateful. And I want you to know that one of the chief blessings that I feel, along with the doctors and the hospitals and all the resources that are available to us, I appreciate you, the Kol Amites, who have been so kind to us and so caring to my wife and have extended yourself to her. I'm really, that's such a good and blessing for us right now. So thank you for that. So who else has a good and blessing to share? Anybody over here? Yes. Okay.
President just read off a young man's.
Uh-huh.
Brain collapse. He's going through chemo, and that is continuing to reduce. He doing very, very well. So it's been on our list here. So I appreciate it. We should bear our list here, and it seems to be working. So continue to have that. And then separately, this young man's birthday.
Mazel tov. What an excellent day to have a birthday. The best day to have a birthday. Now, admittedly, today is Beethoven's birthday. So those of us who live in the shadow of that have always felt diminished a little bit by it. But it's a good birthday. And yes, we do. We live in an age of miracles and wonders. Who else has a good and blessing to share? Steve. I do. I'll get around to them. But, since I'm off track in general, I'll just keep going. Who else has a good and blessing to share on this side of the room? Anybody? Huh? How about?
I'm sorry, but I cover any of this. One night in the hospital, and back home from the stroke, and a 4-year-old.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
You all have enough.
Even, you've heard my line before, even a good sandwich in the past week is enough to say it's a good and blessing. So share with me your good and blessings.
I met a really nice new dog named Ripley.
Oh, you met my dog. Yes, you did. You did. You
My kids can't stop talking
very
about him.
kindly brought us dinner one night, and Ripley is very enthusiastic for young girls and women, and so you were a big hit. You were a
She
big
can
hit.
come
with my
play
dog.
dolls with my kids
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah. Who else has a good and blessing? Just a sandwich. No, it's yes, please. Mazel tov, very exciting. Do you guys have a Hanukkah? Do you have a menorah? You have two. You seem prepared. That's very Boy Scoutish of you. I'm very
You can also
impressed.
use a banana.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, please. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, catching that end of the year stuff. The blessing, Robin got sick in the very last weeks of our insurance cycle. That's got to be good, right? So, yes, absolutely. All right. Well, for the congregation, I also want to recognize a couple of anniversaries. Don and Helena Dossi are celebrating their anniversary, as are Rush and Sharon Avisholam. And we want to wish them both a happy anniversary. And among our birthdays that haven't been mentioned so far, we've got Mitch Albin and Judah. Oh, that's you, Judah Bourne. Got that. No, I'm sorry, Silverberg. Judah Bourne, who's not here, and Samson Flansbaum, and Joe Bornstein, and Florence Dickerson, and Sue. Sue is having a birthday also. So a mazel tov to all of you, to all of me, to all of him. And just be sure to count your good and blessings. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to turn to page 82. Page 82. And please rise for, if you're able, please rise for the Elena. And would you come up with me, my dear?
Yes. Aleinu neshaber ha'adonai, lateitkinu l'mitzvah, shelo asom velo asom shelo asom. Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, v'shamayim ima'an, ve'al ha'aretz mi'itachat ve'ol. Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. Our lives, O God, are in your hands. In you we trust. Whatever may be our destiny, that we know that you will be there. And though we may never fathom the mysteries of life and death, we know your gift of life, which each of us has treasured. So no matter what the final end, let us rejoice in the sweetness of the past and our faith in the life to come. There will we find you, your love, and your blessing. And so it is, we recall with love and gratitude the names of those whom we recently lost, as well as those whose anniversaries of death occur this week. And where did it go? Would you hand me that? There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. In that spirit, we're thinking on the Shiva of Linza Chidsey, a member of our congregation who died this past week. Is there anyone else who's lost a loved one in the past week?
Dennis Pitcock.
Thank you. For Shloshim, we're thinking of Barbara Sherman, the aunt of Harry Friedman. Is there anyone else who's lost someone the past month? And for our yard sites this week, we want to invoke the names of these people connected to our congregation: Shirley Albert, David Bender, Claire Cohen, Nellie Ducar, Alan Lepinkin, Stanley Levy, Diane Lewis, Alan David Marks, Myra Nidchett, forgive me, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, Nidich, Marilyn Paget, Stanley Shentis, Gertrude Schlanger, and George Lee Weisbard. Is there anyone else who knows of an anniversary of death in their family? Thank you. Thank you. The memory of all of them are here with us now. We offer our prayer and thanks for their lives, but also in sympathy for those who mourn for them. I invite you, if able, please rise again to recite Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, bagalal v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mroma. Say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our understanding, make peace for those who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. So for our closing song, we're going to be doing Adon Olam. You'll find the Hebrew on page 93 and the transliteration on page 94. Adon Olam, Lord of the Universe.
Adon Olam, Moshe Malach, B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'chev Sov Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'aharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimlech Pura Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hove, Ve'hu Yeh David Chara Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, L'cham Shilo L'chav B'rach Adon Olam, Ve'li Reshit, Ve'li Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'oz Me'at Mishra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Eli, Ve'chai Goali, Ve'tzurchet li B'eitzara Adon Olam, Ve'hu Nisi, Umanos li, Menakosi Be'yom Echad Adon Olam, Ve'yado Akiruchi, Ve'itisham V'ahira Adon Olam, Ve'imruchi, Goviati, Adonai li v'lo ira Adon Olam.
I place my soul within God's palm before I sleep and when I wake, and though my body I forsake, rest in Adonai, I am fearless calm. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
For everyone, if you're a visitor and you haven't been here before, we always have an oneg afterwards. It is mandatory that you come. No slinking out before you've had something to eat, all right? So come on.